So, I had a few people reach out to me about, the 688, the Tyler Perry movie, being a woman of service. People want to know how you feel about it. And they're like, oh, girl, you seen that new movie? You seen the new movie? And I haven't seen the movie, y'all. The clips alone were triggering enough for me. Seeing the reviews, just hearing, some of the speeches and some of the highlights, were very triggering. And the whole purpose of me, I guess, even talking about this is to bring awareness that if you know a person of service, a military service, and if they're telling you or they have experienced some type of PTSD, it don't necessarily mean that it's combat related. Sometimes the PTSD stems from what occurs in the ranks. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that. Now, I'm not really one to talk about my military service and, I'm not bashing the Army or I'm not bashing anything about the military because that's not what I do. The Army made me the woman that I am today, and it set my family up real nice. And I have nothing bad to say about the Army. And it's, anybody that served know it's not the military, it's the people. That's what makes the experience. But I can tell you one story, and that's triggering for me and traumatizing for me, that one of the reasons why I don't think I can watch the movie. Just bear with me, y'all. So I was high-speed Private Jackson. Anybody that knew me knew I was a go-getter. I ain't joined the Army to play. I joined the Army to do the dang thing. And that's how I felt. My aunt was a part of the WAC, which is the whole reason why I wanted to join, the military. I have a long lineage of military service, my spouse, my son, and my aunt, who was in the WAC. And the sad thing about it is my first two regulations that I learned were AR 670-1 and AR 600-9. And I hate to say it, but those were my first two regulations that I had to learn, being a woman of my stature. And y'all, I was going through competition boards. I had this amazing NCO. I'm still in touch with him. Amazing NCO. Like he was a go-getter. He's still a go-getter. And he took me to the board, and we was going to the board, and we was just winning. We were just winning. Competition board, bam, bam, bam. And then it got to the point I had got to a new unit. And so you know how you get to a new unit, you got to prove yourself, right? So I had got to a new unit, and I'm like, hey, son, I'm not going to put these NCOs on blast because, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not like that. So I'm going to just say NCO A, NCO B. NCO A was a staff sergeant. NCO B was E5 type sergeant. Okay, I do like that. So I got to the unit, NCO A, staff sergeant. She was my NCO, my head NCO. Then I had the 5 that was over me. I got to the unit, and I had already won the company, the unit board, the company board, battalion. Now I'm ready to go to brigade. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready, to get it. So I get there, and I'm like, hey, sorry, staff sergeant type. I said, hey, I wanted to speak to you about, the board that's next month. And she was like, what board? And she was of Latin descent. She had a very, very heavy accent. So excuse me if I imitate, my voice like her, because I still hear it in my head. I'm not lying to y'all. I still hear her. And she was like, no, Private Jackson, you need to lose weight first. And I'm like, what you mean? And it was like, I was like, but sir, and I already passed the board. I've already proven myself. I don't have to, I'm in compliance. And compliance is in compliance, right? And y'all, this woman did everything in her power to stop me from going to that competition board. I was very upset. My E5 type Sergeant B, she was like, it's okay, Jackson, we're just gonna work. She started working with me, started losing weight, just helping me lose weight. But I joined the Army getting taped. So it didn't really make a difference because I was still curvy. I still had a big bottom. My neck wouldn't get no bigger. Y'all know about the neck. My neck wouldn't get no bigger, and I was still struggling. You know what I'm saying? But I was still in compliance. But because of what I looked like. So it got down to it. It got all the way up to the Sergeant Major. It did. It got all the way up to the Sergeant Major, and it was a big deal. And then when finally we sat down and we had, how they try to handle it at the lowest level. So I had already asked for the open door for the Sergeant Major. And it had already got, we try to keep it at the lowest level. So I ended up speaking to her one-on-one, her and the OIC or S4, because I was supply. So I spoke to her and her and the OIC or the S4, and we was all in the office together. And she told me, dead up in my face, she said, you don't look like a soldier. Y'all, that woman told me that she said, you don't look like a soldier. And I said, what you mean? Cause you wasn't gonna tell me that I ain't no motherfucking soldier. I was the hoovest bitch up in that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So, and she said, you know, like, I don't want to say her name, but she said, you know, like Sarin B. And I said, what? Now, Sarin B, she was like, you know, slim. You know, she had a little body, but she was slim, you know. I don't want to say pencil, like the, you know, whatever, but she was straight up and down, very athletic. And to be honest with you, my level of athleticism wasn't to her standard, or wasn't to her level, but I can roll with her. You know what I'm saying? She was my NCO, my immediate NCO, so I can hang with the best of them. Now, I went on 300 PT score, but I was a goddamn on 271. You know what I'm saying? So I was in compliance. And when that woman told me that I didn't look like a soldier, like dead ass in my face, it messed me up. It messed me up real bad. It's something that stuck with me at my big age for a long time. And it was something that, unfortunately, at Private Jackson, I heard it again at Sarin Jackson. I heard it again at Sarin Jackson. I heard it again at Sarin Jackson. It literally took for me to go, like when I went to like NCOES schools, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I walking in the room in ALC at Fort Lee, and I was all nervous because you never know, you know, how your height and weight, your tape gonna go. You never know how that's gonna go when you walk up in the room. And unfortunately, that's a level of nervousness and anxiety that a lot of people can't relate to. I walked up in the room, and I was looking around. There was a whole bunch of black female NCOs, and they looked at me, and they knew what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, we all in there getting taped. You know, you had to go to a separate room, you had to get taped. And they knew what I was thinking. And they looking at me. One of them walked up to me. She said, you good? You good? And I hate that it took for another, and there was another woman that walked up, another NCO female walked up, another female NCO walked up, and she was Samoan. Because I remember her saying that, because she was talking about her thick girls or whatever. She was actually Samoan. And she was like, oh yeah, you good, mama, you good. She was like, you need to work on your neck a little bit, though. You need to work on your neck a little bit. And I ain't never felt so safe. It's crazy because the level of anxiety walking in that room, I'm like, oh fuck, like this is the end of my ALC, like this is it, this is over. And you never know. And it's crazy because you know you're in compliance, but when you walk up in that room to get that tape, you just never know how that person that's unfortunately feeling that they just gonna tape you, or even if they know how to tape. And when she told me, you know, you good, and her battle buddy walked up, the Samoan chick walked up, and she was like, you good. I was like, I'm good. Y'all, I ended up getting distinguished leader, distinguished undergrad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they set me up. And I hate that stigma, you know, and I hate to, I'm never been one of the ones that be like, oh, well, she just playing the victim, she just doing it, and y'all is real. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that happen through the ranks, some people never experience things like this. You know, some people never have stories of their military experience about some of the things that they endured and what they went through. But me at Private Jackson hearing that I didn't look like a soldier was something that stuck with me for a long time, so I get it. I get it. And to this day, it's still something I hear in the back of my head, and I hate that.